Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you if this is your first time stopping in, and if you've been stopping by, thank you again for coming back. Anyways, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's have a conversation in the comments below. Alrighty, so we're just gonna jump right on into it. Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 545. The name of this episode is The Big Apple Squabble. This episode didn't really give me much. It was kind of blasé. I don't know. In the episode they said when the men are around, the women don't turn up as much, and I think that's what it was. It wasn't so much drama because the men were around. The women were not being catty. But anyways, let's start off on how the episode started. Marlo, I'm here for her. Like I said last episode, I'm here for her. Anyway, she's building this house. She invites Twirl and Sheree to come see the house because she knows how they, had issues with their house, and she wants tips on what not to do with the house. So, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Twirl. I'm gonna give it to Kenya. Kenya knows her stuff. All throughout the episode, she was showing that she has knowledge about realty. So Marlo's house, Marlo really has like a ton of clothes that I think she had like 3 closets, and not like your basic regular girl closets. Like, they were closets in the master bedroom. Or I don't think that's taboo to say master bedroom. The main bedroom, which is going to be hers. Her closet was bigger than her actual bedroom. That's how much she really was feeling for her closets. So then they talked about that, how, like, first off, Twirl had to throw some shade. Like always, Marlo called her out on it. And then she's like, you know what? The shade was about like where she gets her money, because Sheree had said, oh, you're in Buckhead, oh, I thought this wouldn't really be your speech. She was like, well, I don't really have that much money. So, and y'all always talk about where my money is coming from. They had a little something, a little tiff about that. So then the next scene is Todd and Candy, and they're walking, getting a little exercise on, being a little couple, doing things together. Cute. So Candy tells Todd how she invites the other women to come see the show, and she asked Todd to reach out to the men to see if they would want to come to the show, because like the show's name is The Thought of a Black Man. So she's like, might as well have the men come to the show too. I guess the play is more geared to them. Okay, cute. So then he starts to talk about how, like, let's see the condo that's in Jersey, and she's just like, I really don't want to. Come on, Candy, like, it's another piece of property. I don't understand why you're so against it. He's not saying let's move to Jersey and we're gonna be living in this house. He said this is gonna be the spot that we go to when we go to New York and we don't have to pay for a hotel room. Okay, this is gonna be the spot that we go to. Come on. In the episode, he makes valid points, whole valid points, but we're gonna get into that. Now I'm just gonna tell y'all now. So the valid points that he makes, because at one part they're like on a Sprinter bus going to the airport. I'm skipping ahead, but whatever, we're gonna talk about it. He says, like, on the Sprinter bus, like, Candy, it seems like you don't really ever want me to have anything like of my own. We live here in Atlanta with your family, around your family, and anytime you come to New York, you don't really want me to be going out and hanging out with my friends. Like, I'm always have to be comfortable in your setting. You never want to be comfortable in my setting. And the girls was agreeing with Todd. Everybody was agreeing with Todd. I was like, dang, Candy, I'm gonna need you to take a look at the mirror and maybe reflect. But whatever. The scene after Todd and Candy are walking, Drew and Ralph have a little therapy session with Dr. Ken, I believe that's his name. And that therapy session, it wasn't even all that seriously. Pretty much the therapist did say to what's her name, Drew, you have to live in the moment, because what the issue was about that whole dinner and how Ralph felt like she ruined the dinner by trying to bring up old stuff. He said you have to live in a moment, try to like accept the niceness that he's doing and like not bring up some negative things. She then responded like, so I'm supposed to pretend that everything is fine and we can never talk about it? I see both sides. I see both sides. But that little therapy session, it was just like, whatever. Then, good old Candy. Good old Candy sends these two people, come to find out, it's like workers, her cousin and his fiance from her spinoff show. They come in this like S&M type outfits. Old girl just has little pasties on. He got leather, pretty much should have had a ball gag in his mouth. Like it was looking like that, right? So then they come and deliver these vibrating panties and tell the girls like, make sure you pack this on the trip. The only people who we did not see get this said package is Sheree and Marlo. We get to see the women calling Sheree and Marlo talking about the gift. I found this to be very interesting, but whatever. But old Twirl, she always has something to say. She always has something to say. She was like, she couldn't just send a playbook. Why did she have to send this? Was you complaining when she set up for Bobo? Okay. Okay, we know that Candy is known for always eating. And I'm not trying to say like she greedy or whatever, but like she likes to eat. We know she for being late. And we know she likes the kinky and sex and she has no qualms about it. So I'm trying to figure out why these people upset, aka Kenya. So when Marlo was being told this story, she was like, I'm not even surprised. Candy's always doing stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. Hello, it's Candy. So next scene is Candy. I want to know, do Bravo be paying for this or do they be coming up out of their own pockets? Because she rented this sprinter bus to take them all to the airport. Okay, alrighty. And she's like, because everyone's always late. You should be one to talk. You should be one to talk. So it's like crack dawn in the morning. You could tell that the sun is not even up yet. Gosh. And they're all piling into the bus. Sonia, her behind is chipper in the morning. She just came on the bus and was like, hi. And everybody was like, oh, hey, okay, all right. You must have had your coffee. She was like, yeah, I'm really just a morning person. So people are piling in on the bus. Kenya gets on the bus and she sees the other husbands there. And she's all like, oh, I didn't know this was a couple's trip. So then she's like, I didn't know this was a couple's trip. She was like, no, Candy had said something along the lines like, yeah, I told you. Then they did a little flashback from last week's episode from the tea party. And Drew had asked, is this an all girls trip or are we bringing in significant others? Candy had then stated, if you have a date, bring it. Or bring them. Yeah. Kenya should be one to talk, because wasn't the last season that her behind was ordering Uber Eats just for herself and had the nerve not to tell anybody else? Like, oh, I'm about to order some Uber Eats, even though there was a fridge full of food. And she was sitting there looking at people confused, saying, then just order your own food if you want to eat, but yet you're the host. But, you know, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. She just always has the nerve to throw stones when she lives in a glass house. But you know what? She makes for good TV. So they're in the bus, and that's when they start talking, and then Todd brings up the whole condo, and he expresses his feelings, as I stated earlier. And everyone was pretty much on his side. Everyone's pretty much on his side. So Candy, you know, says, we're going to see the condo, and we're going to go out to dinner. Cool. So they get to the hotel that they're staying at. And as soon as they get into the suites, because they meet up in one suite, as soon as they get into the suite, there's food there, and she's like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna start eating. I'm telling you, one thing about Candy, she always gonna have some good food. She always gonna have some good food. So as everyone's outside, they're eating, you know, relaxing, chit-chatting. They play this game, who has had the wildest sex experience, so that they can get the best room. These stories was so far-fetched. I'm sitting there like, what? You lying. The only person who seemed like it was legit was Sonia. She said she had sex on a plane. That was the only thing. That was the only thing. So Sonia says that her and her husband has had sex on the plane. Cool, same as. We have Sheree talking about she was at this hotel, the Ritz-Carlton, I believe she said, at the pool, and she was having sex right there and open. I don't know. Don't believe that one right there. I really just don't. Marlo. I love her. I love her. I'm so happy she has a beach. Marlo says that she has had sex at a zoo, having a giraffe watch her, and the giraffe licked her face. Obviously, that was a lie. She admits that's a lie, but everybody was cracking up. Then we have Ralph and Drew. See, I don't really believe their story either. Un poquito. I don't believe their story either, because Drew was looking at Ralph like, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? Okay, yeah, whatever you say, I'm gonna go along with it. Whatever you say, I'm gonna go along with it. That's the look that she was giving her husband. That's the look I picked up on. But the little story that they was having is what they was in the DR. They was in DR, okay. And they had sex in the ocean by the whales. Like the whales were in the ocean too. Okay. Sheree and her shadiness. Why did Sheree sit up there and talk about, what? On the beach? Ain't like whales 8,000 pounds? Baby, you didn't listen. You was not listening. You were not using your listening ears. They said in the ocean. In the ocean. Because everybody making up their stories, but you got to follow along. Because none of those stories sounded legitimate except for Sonia's. Then here we come with Twirl and her story. Twirl going to talk about how she was really into this guy, and he was into hunting, and they had gone hunting, and it was in this like reserve or this area where they could, what's that thing called, like hunt coyotes, because the coyotes were messing up the balance in the I'm gonna say ecosystem, but it really wasn't the ecosystem in that area, so it was okay to like knock a few off. She says the guy gets the coyote, but the coyote does not die on sight. So the coyote is running, the blood is dripping, they're following the blood. It goes into this like cave place. Then they get it on. Everyone's at the table talking about, what did the blood make you turned on? Like, what? That's why I feel like nobody's story made sense except for Sonia's. That's the only story I believe, seriously. But old girl gets the key and she gets the room, because everybody was like, nah, give it to her, give it to her. She gets it. Oh, here's the kicker. the coyote, as they're doing it, the coyote starts to make noise, as in the coyote is still alive and sees, I guess can see them. Weirdest story ever. So then we have Sonia getting ready. They're all getting ready to go see the condo. Cute. Sonia's like, I don't understand why Drew was going at Sheree. The whole issue is with the assistant, and I don't understand what kind of friend is she? I don't understand what kind of friend is she, if that's what she's doing. Baby girl, she's the kind of friend that picks you up after you have a car accident. That's the kind of friend she is, okay? Even though she got paid to do it, because literally this is all the storyline, but we're not going to talk about that. It's all for TV. We have Sheree going into Marlo's room, talking about, oh, you know, are we going out to dinner? Are we going to go see the condo? I swear to God, Sheree stay having a story about everything and everybody else other than herself. So they replay a clip from like seasons ago when Portia was going at Candy, talking about, yeah, and dang, what was his name that Portia had said that he was going by some other name when he's out in New York so that he can cheat. So she's like, maybe that the streets have been talking. That's probably why Candy doesn't really want him to have this condo. The streets been talking. Come on. Anyways, so then Marlo was like, you think he really is stepping out? She was like, I wouldn't say that. Then they started talking about who do you think is the freakiest? They said that they think Candy is freakier than Todd. But clearly Todd wants it a lot more, because last episode he was complaining that they was only having 3 days a week. Please, some men wish they can get it that often. I'm just saying. Then Sheree has asked Marlo, who do you think is next freakiest? She said she thinks it's going to be Drew and her husband Ralph. Alrighty, so then they go to see their condo. The condo is very outdated, okay? But I don't know how long they've had it, and they said that no one has lived there in like quite some time. I'm gonna give it to Twirl. I'm gonna give it to her, okay? She gave great advice on how to fix up the place. Cool. We're not gonna talk about that now. Let's get into this dinner. This dinner said a lot. Okay. Sheree, what's her name? Candy admits that sometimes she does not trust oh boy when he goes out. Interesting. That said a lot. And then Drew started talking about her feelings, about her husband gaslighting her. Then old girl Twirl, she pipes up and she's like, you remind me of Mark. You're not validating her feelings. Then the tables have turned, because everybody was on her side, like, okay, yeah. How do you not see that this is an issue of the things that she's upset about? Marlo pipes up and says, no, I have to blame you too, because you only allow him to do what he's only allowed to do what you allow him to do. So then everybody at the table like, yeah. Then Kenya goes, well, you treat her like you treat, she treats you like everyone, like she treats everyone else. Did I say that right? Yeah. She treats the things that she's complaining about you, she sees it within Drew. So yeah, she pretty much said you two are peas in a pod. Anyways, that was the little recap, review, thoughts that I had about the episode. Let me know what you thought about the episode if you have watched it. Drop down in the comments. Let's have a conversation about these characters. And y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.